Salutations, everyone. I'm Niru. Yes, I haven't uploaded all week. I was busy. I was also doing stuff. I had to. There was also a lot of stuff that was going on. I'm sorry. I will upload uh, more and try to get the other episodes that I was supposed to premiere later on. I didn't get to. Sorry. Resident Evil's continuing. Uh, I I say like I was gonna do a Morbius review. I had it recorded and I was gonna upload that like sometime in the beginning of the week, and I didn't. So sorry about that. Uh, I wanted to get a review of a movie that came out recently, and that is Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie that no one was expecting or no one thought to ever bat an eye and say like, do we really want to watch this? Do we really need this? And I was honestly surprised about a lot of stuff in this movie that I didn't expect would ever happen again. I mean, ever in like history because of copyright and stuff. But this movie surprised me with a lot of cameos of other cartoons that weren't just from Disney. I don't think I've seen a Looney Tunes character in this. I don't think Warner Brothers was going to have their prize property characters come back in a Disney movie, I guess. I think they're not there. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be like stupid just realizing, oh wait, there they were. And I just didn't click my brain right on it. But I was interested in this movie because I'm a fan of the of the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I loved that movie when I was a kid. Seeing all these like cartoon characters from that's owned by different properties, different studios, come together in this one movie, which is insane. That it must have been a nightmare to gain all that money to just put them all in there. And this movie honestly does the same. I mean, there was a lot of like references to a lot of Disney, but also a lot of like other shows as well. There was also Nickelodeon like shows as well, and of course, yeah, the uncanny like valley kind of like characters from those CGI movies that try to look realistic. Of course, Seth Rogen was trying to be a parody of Beowulf, and then we get a small scene with the CGI cats from the movie, well, Cats, and but also surprisingly enough, referencing a lot of dead stuff like Shrek, like body wash, which I was laughing because like, you remember Shrek body wash? No, and I'm like, actually, yes, I do. I do remember Shrek body wash because I remember seeing it when I was a kid. It wasn't the bottle they used in the movie, but I remember Shrek body wash when I was a kid. So yeah, I sadly remember that. Yeah. There was so much. Like, I was not expecting the original disgusting and ugly design of Sonic to appear in this movie, but he did. Though I wish that people on Twitter or the fucking news that said like, "Oh, ugly Sonic will appear in the movie." I'm like, I would have liked that if it was a surprise. I didn't want that to be like spoiled for me. I mean, the laugh would have been more harder if I did not expect ugly Sonic to be in this movie. And there he was, voiced by someone else. It's not voiced by the actor who voiced him in the Sonic movies. But it's someone different. I think they said it was Tim Robinson or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. And when I saw him, it was so hilarious seeing him looking like a middle-aged man with a beer belly, and he's like, everyone's gonna know that they shouldn't have replaced me because they will know the value of ugly Sonic. And I was laughing so hard because this movie, for some reason, had shockingly redeemed Ugly Sonic, saying like Ugly Sonic actually helped them. Ugly Sonic actually uh went and helped us, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I was laughing so hard, just thinking like, "How?" Okay, I was wrong. I forgot there were Warner Bros. Characters. Batman was in the I was wrong. Batman was in one scene where where it was this silly movie called Batman versus ET, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I thought it was ridiculous. So I was like, "Okay, I guess that's the only Warner Bros. Characters they could use." But if you see in the background while if you pause the movie, because I watched this on Disney Plus, if you see in this movie when Chip was like walking down like in the and down the streets of Hollywood, and you see like the stars of like actors and such. If you look closely, there's like a few people that have stars. One was I'm trying to remember from memory. I don't think I can remember the second one, but I know one was Samurai Jack, and the other was Squidward. So Squidward had his own star in LA, which is insane. And also, could be seen clearly when Chip is like standing in one place and he sees like this Batman versus ET like advertisement on a billboard. You see Chun Li's name on the ground as well. So Chun Li also has a star. And behind Chip, which made me laugh so hard, is Dobby from Harry Potter posing for Gucci. And I lost my shit so hard at that scene. It's like, wait, because I had to go back and like, wait, did I see that right? And I saw Dobby like in like, you know, those typical like men's model fashion like clothes that they wear, like the nice suit that's not buttoned up, and you just see them like posing in like a sexy like kind of pose, and it was freaking Dobby, and I was laughing so hard because it looks like they just put Dobby's head on some guy's body, and I thought that was good. This movie is, if you want to watch it in theaters, that's good if you want to. I think it's also in theaters, but on Disney Plus, my God, it is. It was like so fun to like pause through the movie to because there's so many blink and you miss it like references that you won't catch at your first watch. And I probably want to watch this movie again to check out them. There was like so many I was surprised about. I saw Gumball from Amazing World of Gumball in one scene. I won't say what because I'll spoil the movie. Uh, and I saw oh my god, and there was Johnny Test as well. Johnny Test was there. I was like, what the fuck? Uh, and there was Phineas from Phineas and Ferb, and Phineas and Ferb's mom is in one scene as well. And oh my god, and there was like such a deep cut. I was not expecting a cameo from this character, and I only knew this character because like I watched Nostalgia Critic and he talked about the Disney Afternoon, and it was this cartoon cat cop from this TV show that no one liked because it was clearly a ripoff of Roger Rabbit. And and I saw that cat, I was like, oh my god, they brought him back. That's shocking. And it was so amazing seeing this because god, it feels so nice to see like all these cartoons that you either grown up with or you actually have known that's like new from like this decade, and then probably when you grow up like you knew these cartoons, like oh my god, I know that one because I grew up with that. Like it's insane how many references there are and a lot of jokes that are immediately silly, Like, of course, like it is silly, ridiculous, and dumb humor. Like that's what this movie is. It's just ridiculous and silly jokes, which I am a fucking giggly bitch on these kind of movies where they make weird, silly jokes like that. And I like that. Some of them don't land as much, but some of them you get a nice chuckle like, aha, I got it. And surprisingly dark jokes in this movie. Like a dude got his like entire dick ripped off from the Paw Patrol. I'm not kidding. Cause like a police raid was trying to infiltrate the Nick Jr. like a studio thinking that Peppa Pig was kidnapped. That they think that Peppa Pig was there. And then this one cop sadly can't have kids anymore because the Paw Patrol fucking attacked him. And they didn't say like entirely like, yeah, his junk is gone. No, but they implied it by saying like he can't have kids anymore. I'm like, wow, the Paw Patrol are vicious. And I paused the movie laughing hysterically because I was like thinking, Jesus, Disney let them imply that joke in this movie. I am so surprised a lot of jokes they kind of got away with that they passed through the censors that only adults would probably get, but kids would be like, I don't get it. I don't it's oh my god, I did enjoy this. I did enjoy this. And this is made by The Lonely Island, obviously, because like Andy Samberg's here, and one of the members of The Lonely Island directed this, the other one, and they also both voiced in it. They made voice cameos, and I am I a fan of the work they have directed and made? I mean, some of them. MacGruber had its moments. I thought MacGruber was kind of funny in some places, but it kind of didn't land with me that much. The Watch was blah. I didn't enjoy it as well. It just was meh to me. Popstar was fine. I did like that as well. It was okay, but so far, like some of the movies they make on their own, some don't mesh well with me, but somehow this one is the one I'm going back to because this one is actually pretty good. I actually did enjoy this. This actually was pretty good. They actually did a great job. This was like a love letter to the Disney afternoon cartoons and a love letter to like other cartoons that they possibly grew up with or they know, or me personally, like this is a movie for me because I could spot like cartoons I know that probably kids today probably don't know. And it is amazing to see like how they got like a lot of like it feels like Roger Rabbit because they got like so many people that are different animation styles, like anime or like 2D or 3D animation. Even like the detective played by J.K. Simmons, he's clearly like this claymation character that you would see like in Gumby. And I honestly did it. Like I honestly did like that, how they actually just gone with different art styles. And it was good. They did a great job with this. The animation is honestly not bad. It's actually pretty good. I mean, if I'm going to say what were the bad effects, of course, it's the one where Seth Rogen is like with his Polar Express or Beowulf looking eyes. But then again, that seems to be on purpose to make that effect look bad. And as much as I love 2D animation more, and I rather like traditional hand drawn, I give this a pass because honestly, seeing like Chip and Dale like in the 2D look, but it is obviously 3D, it actually looks pretty good, honestly. Like it actually does look like 2D animation. And honestly, I'm sorry, I'm saying honestly a lot, but I just love how it looks. like they do look pretty good for the 2D animation. They actually it actually shows there was a lot of love to it. I mean, they probably had a low budget, but for like, doing the special effects, but they actually pulled it off nicely. I thought the effects were actually pretty good. Even Dale's CGI surgery thing that they mentioned as well. I was like, that doesn't look like bad CGI because I was hesitant about it because the animation didn't look as well for me in the trailer. But when I finally saw the movie fully, I was like, oh, hey, that actually looks good. That actually, now taking a closer look at it, it actually is a pretty good like animation. I applaud them for that. Uh, it was in the and of course they were doing like, oh hey, they were just actors that made the TV show Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and they all of a sudden like broke up because one went a different career direction, the other was like mad for them for doing that because it canceled the show. And of course the movie does go where it has to go, like, oh, there's a mystery going around where all these tunes are being kidnapped. And I'm gonna do spoilers right now. And I'm saying this movie is worth watching if you want to see it. If you have Disney Plus, go see it. And if you want to go watch it. If you don't want to go to the theater, if you already have Disney Plus and watch it, then go and see it. I honestly recommend it. It's actually pretty fun and watch. I mean, yeah, it's not like the most original story. Of course, it's kind of like Roger Rabbit having like a mystery story about who has been kidnapping the Toons or killing them. And this whole like mystery about like in like an odd pair couple of like two characters that are not getting along, obviously, but then they will actually like each other at the end. It's that cliche. It's not the most original story, but the stuff they do on top of it with the satire, with making fun of a lot of stuff as well. They do well with the humor and comedy in this. Despite some don't land, there's always another joke out there that's still going to make you laugh. Uh, if you get the reference, but hopefully you all do if you have grown up with a lot of these cartoons. And as much as, yeah, it's a cliche story and you know the direction it's going to go, even the joke they make in this movie that I found funny, but also was like, but you're going to do it anyway, right? And they do. I just loved how they pointed out, thinking like, no, this could be cliche. And then it does go the cliche direction. They're like, oh yeah, how predictable. It's just like they do that meta, but I digress. It did still do its job to be at least entertaining. And I like that. I like that this movie did a lot of good things. Like it knew its story wasn't original, but they knew that they could try and at least do well with the humor and actually developing the characters, which I really think it was insane how I was shocked that I was actually caring for like the main characters like Chip and Dale, and was sad about their dynamic, about like, oh, how they fell apart, like they're no longer friends, or seeing like the entire like Rescue Rangers like cast and seeing where has their life been, like what has been going on in their lives after how many years. And it is both funny but also touching in a way. And this like one like Monterey Jack, it's already been in the trailer, and they put his cheese addiction and they make it sound like a drug addiction. And it's so weird because like seeing him like so addicted to cheese and how it ruined his life and how he's like now I owe money to like a gang and they're gonna come after me and it's and I was like, okay, they might end the joke here, but no, they don't. Where someone has an underground like cheese ring on top of like a legitimate cheese business. But the reason why it's underground is because like he has like nice smelling cheeses, but then he goes underground and says like, I got some good stinky cheese for ya. and, and they go underground and you see like these all these mice or rats like so like strung out like they like look like they're like crackheads, they're like eating cheese and they're like all there like addicted to it and they just want more and it's so weird to see this because it's like I know what they're implying, it's drugs. Yet Disney was like, it's okay. They can get away with this. It's just cheese. But just the way it's presented just feels like it's a bunch of crackheads in an underground den. Yeah, even I was like thinking like when there was a moment where Dale said like, oh, these people may look like they're nice and happy tunes in this place, but they're not. They have done some shady shit. And I didn't believe him at first, thinking like, come on, there's no way that that's true. Like he's just making this up. I mean, he was probably right about the guy who was selling cheese to like cheese addict like mice. And but hearing like Dale talked about this young little girl who was happy and giving away flowers. He's talking about like she runs a underground Muppet fighting ring, like illegal Muppet fighting underground. And I was like, there's no way they're gonna show that. And funny enough, they actually do show like basically Muppet like Fight Club and everyone's taking bets and money and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was so like shocked they actually showed it. I was like thinking, no way they're gonna show like illegal boxing, and then sure as hell shit, they show it, and I was like, well, that's a shocker. Also, before I go into spoilers, they teased like a fake Smash Brothers Ultimate game where it's all the Disney afternoon cartoons, but it's like Smash Brothers Ultimate. And when I saw that, because they showed a fake ad for it, I was like, don't you dare tease me with that. That is something I would legitimately want. I would want a freaking Disney afternoon like fighting game. Hey, if Warner Brothers is doing their fighting game, I think Disney needs to try and take the mantle and try and do that. I mean, they saw how Sora was all marketable for Smash Brothers. They know the potential for it. They could totally do this. They could totally go and actually make a fighting game, and you can bring the Kingdom Hearts characters and all the Disney characters and make a fighting game with all Disney characters. You gotta get creative with how they fight. And I already know how you can do that, but like that seems like already money to be made if Disney wants to make video games again. They should do that. Like that should actually happen. I would want a Disney cartoons, like Disney Toons fighting, like a Smash Brothers game. That sounds like potential right there. You can do that. That should work. Yeah. So I did enjoy this. So let me get to spoilers right now about the story of this movie. So Basically, they like Monterey Jack is kidnapped by someone named Sweet Pete, who is just Peter Pan. If he grew up, he became fat and sounded like Will Arnett, and he is trying to kidnap like a bunch of beloved cartoons who probably missed out on payments when they were desperate for money, and they use them if they haven't made their payments yet to take them in and make them into like bootleg cartoons, which sounds very fucked up. Where they don't just like, oh, let's just rip them off and make them look like different characters in like Chinese or Russian knockoff films. No, it was like they took the original character and forced them to look like different characters. Like they they surgically like mess with their features and their face and their body to make them look like different characters so they can be in their own bootleg movies that they will sell for profit. And I thought that was the most darkest shit ever. Saying like, Jesus, all those cartoons that don't get any love or haven't found work in a long time. It it is really messed up, especially what they do to Flounder, where he's like I got the money. Here, he gets a fork, and he's like, "See, it's a dingle hopper. It's very valuable." And it's like, "Nope, get in the fucking machine." And they bootleg a bunch of characters in there. Like as I said, they bootlegged Johnny Test, they bootlegged Gumball, they bootlegged a lot of people in a lot of cartoons and anime, and I was like, oh my god, they bootlegged a lot of people. They bootlegged Phineas because you see him all disjointed and everything. And I was like, oh god, they fucked him up. And they were trapped in this like storage container for a long time, and you find out that they're not filming all the like bootleg stuff overseas. They're filming it in the same Sting house they have, and you see them like filming all like the bootleg cartoons, like bootleg Simpsons or bootleg Winnie the Pooh, even though it's still voiced by Jim Cummings. There were so many. Oh, who else was it? Yeah, it was bootleg Aladdin, but for some reason they didn't. They didn't like get Aladdin and bootleg him. They just took Pete from Pete like Pete, from the Goofy movie, Pete. I don't know Pete's last name, honestly. That's a shocker. They get him to play Aladdin for some reason. I don't know why. He looks like the only character that hasn't been bootlegged that bad. He just looks like, here, put the Prince Ali outfit, and that's it. And, oh Lord, and speaking of Kingdom Hearts, you see like all the old like features that the characters had like mounted on a wall. Like they took all their like body parts or their like hair, everything, and they mount it on a wall, and they're probably going to use it to put it on different people or different cartoon characters. And on the wall, you saw Monterey Jack's mustache, and then there was Sora's hair from Kingdom Hearts, and then next to Sora's hair was Jimmy Neutron's hair as well. And I was like, what the hell? It was so weird. And the weirdest thing also was like Samurai Jack was bootleg too, and you see him like it's him in his outfit, but he was turned into a cat for some reason. And I was like, oh Jesus, they really bootleg the hell out of them. And I don't know if this was a clever way to show like how do we not get to pay the rights for these characters? Should we have a creative way where we don't show them originally and just show them as their bootleg counterparts? Which I think that was their clever way of probably not owning a bunch of money to all these different properties from Warner Brothers and Nickelodeon or Marvel, and Paramount and Sega. Like, how did they get away with it? Like, it's ugly Sonic. Like, the Sonic is in the name, so it has to be like you have to tell Sega, can we use the rights for this? And you have to also talk to Paramount and say, can we have the CGI assets for that old, disgusting, ugly Sonic design that you had for the original movie? Like, maybe they didn't have to pay them. Maybe Sega and Paramount were like, yeah, take it. We want to get away from this character as far as possible. Just take him. And I don't know how they did it. Like, they probably got past censors. Not censors. They probably got past like copyright because they had to make them different with bootleg technology, which probably is the smartest way to get away with it. But maybe they had to get the rights because I saw their names on the in the stars in Hollywood, and also like other characters like Batman and freaking Dobby. So they had to ask them for these rights either way. And I was, but it is amazing that they actually did that. But to be fair, it's Disney. Of course, they probably convinced them saying like, hey, can we have the rights to these characters? We clearly have all the money in the world to do this. So whatever price you have, we can spend it. Like, I'm guessing that's what happened. Disney's rich as fuck right now. So probably they spared no expense on this film. It was weird seeing a lot of these characters in this movie, and I'm trying to remember all of them through memory right now after just seeing this movie, because there's so much to process. There was like one joke in this and I really was disappointed because, man, you could have got him. Randy Marsh from South Park was in this movie, and this was when like the Rescue Rangers had to go to the and steal Peter Pan's Fitbit to track his movements and see where his facility is. And they go to like this, I guess this like hot spa or something. And you see like other characters like from different properties and everything. You see Scrooge McDuck, who I found out was David Tennant voiced him, which I'm like, well, he didn't say a line. All he did was laugh, and he was with his gold. I don't know if they just got David Tennant to do that and just say, okay, David, your check's in the mail. Like, it's probably archive audio that they got from the DuckTales TV show. Probably. I was like wondering as well on this if they actually got the original actor to voice Roger Rabbit. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but I did hear his voice in the movie. It sounded like Roger Rabbit, and I saw like the voice actor. I'm like, that's the same guy, so it had to be him. And I haven't checked yet to see if it is him or not, or if it's archive audio. Hopefully it's him, because that would be cool. A lot of other references that no one would get, like Paula Abdul dancing with this cat, because she actually did that in like a ad for Disney. I didn't know that until I watched like an Easter egg video from Andre, because he is like a total geek for these cartoons. And and I was amazed by a lot of the references and a lot of the characters that they got away with getting. I mean, the Disney ones, obviously no problem, but like, man, it was I cannot believe how they got away with it, especially DreamWorks characters. Mainly all of Seth Rogen's voice roles from DreamWorks. lyrics. Like there was a joke in the movie, and I thought it was gonna be a roll your eyes. Obviously, you're gonna do that joke because you own that character, and he was voicing that character. When he was like the bootleg Beowulf, he was like looking at like Pumbaa, who he also voiced in the live action remake, and he's like, "What are you looking at? Honestly, I'm looking at your weird face." And then Mantis comes in like from Kung Fu Panda's like, yeah, it's very weird. And then also like the blob from Monsters vs. Aliens comes in too, saying it's a weird face, and they all do the Seth Rogen laugh in unison. Made me fucking laugh so hard. Here we go, like all in unison. You knew that they cast him on purpose. They're like, hey Seth, we're gonna have a scene. We're just gonna give you an original character, but we're also gonna go and give you all the old voice roles you used to do for DreamWorks and Disney. So you're gonna be like voicing all of them. And clearly those characters are all no different. Like he could just fucking just do his voice and that's it. Those characters are just Seth Rogen. So honestly, it's not gonna matter if he doesn't get the character or right or wrong. It's just like just take all the different voice clips he put for this voice role and just add them together and just show him go like oh, I loved it. Oh, I love that. It was so dumb. I love this. This film is great. This film gave me a good smile. Started out my Friday pretty well, even though, I'm gonna watch also that came out today was Love, Death and Robots season 3. But man, this movie was a good time. It was like, it's not like a movie where you're like, I gotta put logic into this. Just have fun. Like, this is a movie where you just have fun, just sit down, eat popcorn, and enjoy it. I might watch it again, maybe, or probably watch something else with family if I get the chance to. But man, that was actually a pretty good time, and it was so silly to see this. And even like this one scene that weirded me the fuck out where it's Chip and Dale, like where it's like, okay, what do their bootleg counterparts look like? And they did different animation styles. One was Ren and Stimpy. One was Rick and Morty as well. Simpsons. They even had this creepy, deviant art anime looking style chipmunks of them that I know I've seen back in the old days. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, why does that look like something from DeviantArt? And it creeped me out because I'm like, why are you making them look hot? Stop. That's not good. This is illegal. It was so weird. And then they did like that chibi kind of, and I'm talking about Disney's type of chibi, kind of anime looking style of the characters that you see in like the Disney parks, like these art styles of the like, oh, here's the Disney characters, but in this cute, weird, like simplistic chibi art style that we put them in. They also included that. I was like, wow, I'm getting a lot of references here. And this movie has no chill for what they did, because they really go all out with like how they proceed with their humor, with the jokes and all the stuff they can say in this, because again, it's a kids movie, so they can't go too far, but it is fun. I did enjoy seeing this. It's probably a one-off movie. Obviously, we're not going to see a sequel of this. I mean, I'm pretty obviously certain that they won't. But they did tease the fact at the end of the movie where Darkwing Duck got so pissed off, saying like, why do they get a reboot? Justice for Darkwing Duck! And of course, Jim Cummings comes back as that character. Awesome. Uh, I was like, oh my god, yeah, Darkwing Duck needs a reboot. If DuckTales got one, Darkwing Duck should. Uh, man, that was. It is fun to see all these cartoon characters. Probably everyone who grew up with like Disney or other cartoons in the 80s or in the 90s. Me, who grew up with cartoons from the 90s as well. It is nice to see this. Like, it is like a jab. Like, it's like a jab at a lot of Disney stuff and a lot of other animation stuff as well. Like, it shows, like, yeah, Disney's going to take the piss on this as well. And of course, the and of course, like the other like studio companies are like, you know what? We can have a laugh too. It was stupid, like what we were trying to do back then. Like even the Polar Express one was a huge jab because I know that Disney, yikes, really went to that route with Mars Needs Moms and A Christmas Carol. They probably regret doing that. Uh, and there was a lot of like humor that I liked in this. It's my kind of humor. It can sometimes be dark, it can be sometimes silly and ridiculous, but I think The Lonely Island did great with making this movie. I do like the two performances. I like John Mulaney. I liked Andy Samberg. They did worked well with each other. Uh, I know John Mulaney's best role for me in an animated movie was, of course, Spider Verse when he was Spider Pig. Uh, you could imagine he probably did the same thing he did with Spider Verse, where he's like, just go out all out on it, John, and then he's like, yeah, sure, and then just swears a lot, and he's like, this is a kids movie, isn't it? But yeah, I think I give this movie a eight, nope, 7.6 out of 10. I liked it fine. I enjoyed it. Jokes can hit and miss, but you know, I still had a fun time with it either way because I can still enjoy the movie for for the animation they do, and I like that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, darlings, and remember, you are loved.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!